it kind of lowers the pricing a little bit and kind of relieves the tension a little bit, and then you start to rebound. I feel like you get a lot more range, and the trend is stronger when you get that. But when you get this, where you're just like straight just gap mode, even if you take out, the pre-market highs, when you are in a low volatility environment like we are in right now, when you're in a low volatility environment, you're not going to get much range because there is no volatility, right? So that's something you guys just got to be mindful of and trade less aggressively unless it's an earnings type of play or something that's like in flavor. Right now, as we were talking about yesterday, right? Obviously IPOs are in flavor, right? Stocks like JMIA. I saw a lot of you guys play that one pretty well yesterday, so good. So that's like, there are pockets of strength in terms of where the range is. So, you just have to kind of focus on that. If you're just looking at like a regular technical analysis pattern, then you're not going to necessarily have the juice that you want on it. So just kind of be mindful of that. I'm going to go through a watch list real quick because we got a lot of shit to do today. I got to get going. Ball drop. I'm not sure what that means. Chris Ball. Who's Ball? Whatever. English, my friend. English, right? Shit. TW. Keep watching this one on dips over here. I think that this one still got a little bit of action over here. The issue is you can't chase this thing on strength. You're gonna have to let it. You're gonna have to let this thing break out, right? You're gonna need to let it break out and let it do what it's got to do, right? And let it roll. Robbie, how you doing? Hassan, what's up, baby? Only on dips do you want to hit this one. Otherwise, you got to leave it alone. Tuffin's gonna need another pullback. PCG, it had that opening push where it went red to green and then it just kind of sat around all day. But look what's happening with this is you can see this is like when it bases out, it gets a short squeeze. It's fizzling out, and that's how short squeezes are. They never really last very long. But you see like a quick short sleeve, and now you know what that means. The stream will never get to start on time. It starts when I start. When you get this kind of thing going, that's where you got to get the run on this thing. So look for like little squeezes on this. I think at some point we'll get a trend day on it as the volume is starting to build. mRNA, bum, 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 bum. We got breakout, pull back to the 9. You got a green candle to hold yesterday. The liquidity was, not good yesterday. So not even taking a play in this right now. It does look like a swing trade at the moment. You'd have like kind of a... $1.25 stop or give or take for run back to 30. Levi's probably my favorite for the day, but I'm guessing that everybody and their uncle and their mom and their grandmother from Taiwan is watching this thing, and because you got like first of all, IPOs are hot. This one has liquidity. If this thing busts out, so I believe the breakout spot's really here. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you draw it at candles, tops, or bodies. It's all the same. 24.25 is the release, and you got, so you're already there pre-market. I think that this one, the first dip, you got to hit this one. All right. Now the issue is going to be when something's heavily watched. So you'll probably see a lot of chatter on this because the IPOs are really getting in play. If something's heavily watched, it won't move exactly the way you want at the open. When something's heavily watched, like once the trend sets and everybody piles in, then, because it's heavily watched, it actually works out well for you because the whole world's just kind of piling in, and then they turn the algos on, more like this, right? Where it's like, zzz, once the trend sets, you'll get it. But what can often happen is, when things are like really heavily watched and everybody's anticipating it, you'll see something that looks really nice and then it'll just dump out of nowhere and you forget about it, right? And then you start to build your way back up. So, it would be nearly impossible for Levi to do this type of move, mostly because Levi's makes fucking jeans, right? And like, you're not going to have a jean company move, but that's where, we got to be a little bit careful of this. Watch this one for the dump at the open. You know, like I suspect that they spike it up and then it'll just kind of dump out of nowhere. And then what we want to do is hit that rebound. Watch for the 1, 2, 3 patterns. Watch for the W patterns, like when they start to kind of pull back, right? Watch for the 1, 2, 3s or the Ws. Those are going to be super, super important. XS. I've got an alert set here at 96.50. I think that that's where you got to go with this thing. I will not take a day trade in it unless it's over there. BPTH is no play in it. I mean, it was pretty much dead all day yesterday. You had one shot at a play here, and then, then it did a fake out, and the next flag, pulled back. It popped up a couple bucks and then just died all day. So it's going to be a little bit more tricky. I don't think there's a play in it, so I'd probably just leave this alone. On the gapper side, you got this RNN. It's been hanging out. Watch this kind of 9 mark. You may ORB in this thing. They've reduced the float down to nothing on this thing, so I believe it's going to have a chance. You're clearing this level over here, so you should have enough range if it can hold. I don't know for sure if it's going to hold, though. That's why you got to wait for the pattern. See how it starts to react at the open. It's 50-50. It could just dump off at the open. It could explode at the open. You won't know. You got to let the trade and the play come to you, right? Let it start to set up. Let it base out, right? Once that solid support builds, then you can come in and pick a direction on what potentially could happen. But if you think like it's going to be a long or short, right, you never really know on these things. The only thing we know is they're turds and they smell. Some regular gappers here. I give these all C minuses. I originally gave them B minuses, but I'm giving them C minuses. This JBTH it's got earnings out today. It's breaking down under kind of some levels. I don't know if this is a huge mover, but in general, you might get a few bucks out of it. I'd give that a C. Maybe a C plus if it breaks these pre-market lows. This WWE is a breakdown too. WVE, this 34-ish mark was really, really important. It's essentially just kind of a big, long head and shoulders type of pattern. You're breaking down below it. It doesn't have a huge amount of liquidity just yet, but it does have enough now that's pouring in to make a trade. I won't take a trade on it. If I see an ORB or quick pullback buy on this at the open, I won't take a trade in it unless, it's got at least 500,000 shares fire off at the open. Not for the whole day. I need to see it at the open so I can get the liquidity that I need. International paper, pass. This work might be okay. These are all C's, So in the end, the moral of the story is, stick with the IPOs today. The earnings plays are kind of dog, but don't chase the gap up. Wait for everything to pull back. There's more than enough movement in this particular market. We just got to be able to catch it. And then this is the rest of the list. We should be good to go. Watch this excess, though, if it does go. It's going to pop off quick today. All right. Add Yeti to the list, too. I apologize. That was the one I forgot. The chart on Yeti is really, really hot, and that could bust loose today. Also, watch for none of these things can go red to green, right? Because the market's gapping up. You're not going to be able to go red to green on these things. So what you have to do is hit the first dip, right? Hit the first dip and see how it holds. If it starts to hold, then you're good to go. All right? Be good. Be fast. Don't overtrade today. It's going to be a tricky one.